Okay, so here's my infographic for data protocol. Your first step is to figure out where you're at now, and you're going to do that by looking at your current data, who your students are, how your school is viewed, how your test scores are, or how you are measuring your student learning, and in what ways are you teaching. Step 2 is to reflect on data. Where do you want to be? What is your main goal? Why are you doing what you're doing? And what expectations do you have of your students? Where do we want them to be by the end of this year or quarter, semester, whatever? Then we have research and plan. How did we get here? So you use those results to find your gaps, and you look at demographics to figure out why you have those gaps. And your your data, not necessarily just demographics. It could also be like tardies, culture, or school process, how you're teaching. That could also affect why you have certain gaps. Then we're going to implement a plan. How do we get to where we want to be? What is our plan of action? How are we going to implement it? Then after a certain period of time, you reflect on your plan. Is your plan making a difference? And where do you go from here? Because if it didn't work, you kind of have to start back over. If it did work, you want to keep doing it. And I, of course, got those questions from the 5 essential questions for starting school improvement right. I also have that as a document, so I could hand that out if teachers don't like this beautiful infographic. I kind of stuck with the guide. I really liked this. I did change it and made it classroom specific. So how many students are in your class? How many of those students missed 4 or more days? How many, you can modify that to count in tardies as well. How many of those students have IEPs? How many of your students scored 75% or higher? Since I made it, it's not as nice and I couldn't get it to look as pretty, but this is the one that made the most sense to me because you could really get solid data numbers from it. And you could write off to the side what this means for those groups. And that is it.